Start with a case study. This is going to be presented by Mr. Saifee Makasarwala, Chief Executive Officer of Silverpoint Press Private Limited. A little bit about Mr. Saifee Makasarwala. He leads Silverpoint Press Private Limited, one of India's foremost commercial printing companies with a legacy built on innovation, precision and excellence. Over the past 32 years, Saifee's journey at Silverpoint has spanned every rung, from a trainee on the shop floor to supervisor, production manager, vice president, and eventually to head the organization. His hands-on evolution through the ranks has shaped a leader who is deeply rooted in both operational rigor and visionary leadership. Under Saifee's guidance, Silverpoint has embraced cutting-edge technologies such as hexachrome printing, metallic integration, complex fabrication, and advanced binding techniques. He has also championed the convergence of print and digital with the in-house development of XPolar, an augmented reality app that embeds video, 3D models, and gamified content into printed materials, bringing print to life. Instrumental in implementing API integrations to streamline global printing workflows, Saifee has pioneered PrintNation.in, an e-commerce platform making short-run and personalized printing accessible across India. The platform empowers corporates with their cloud-based archive of their artwork, enabling real-time customization, editing, print management through an intuitive digital interface. A printing technologist from GIPT, Saifee lives in Mumbai with his family, and beyond the press room, he finds joy in biographies, management literature, weekend, cooking sessions, and music. We will request Saifee in our gala dinner to sing for us, but for the moment, he is going to present a case study. Silverpoint Press Private Limited, Mr. Saifee Makasarwala, Chief Executive Officer. Give him a grand welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. After the lunch, sleepy or more awake? It depends on how I present. Okay, to start my presentation, Silverpoint is a 50 years old printing press. We started our journey in the year 1970. We started as a printing company in printing hub at Lower Parel. It was a very small beginning, having two machines, two color printing machines. And we started that journey. And the whole operations from the day one, the focus was to provide the best of the service, high quality, commercial offset printing. So basically, in those eras, we used to do a lot of work for corporates, advertising agencies, doing their brochures, catalog, calendars, and we served to the best of the premium clients in terms of corporate and also to the advertising agencies. Moving forward in the year 2000, where we were doing a lot of this kind of jobs. And we were the company always wanted to innovate, to do something different and provide the best of the service to our customer. So we used to do a lot of calendars, and our Silverpoint calendars at that point of time, and even today also a lot of people, they remember those calendars which we did. So there we used to showcase the print capability, what an offset printing can do in terms of bringing the realism into a printed image. So our calendars used to showcase those features. Then we started making a lot of catalogs. Now these catalogs were basically catalogs wherein we used to showcase the print capability, what a print can do, how you can transform an image into how realistic it can be printed using different printing techniques in terms of hexachrome printing, wherein we were trying to achieve color gamuts which are out of CMYK color gamut, doing metallic integration printing using silver and metallic integrating it full color, hexachrome printing, FM screening. So a lot of those kind of innovations, we used to keep doing it. We in fact also built our own app in the year 2004 and 5, and that was Explore. And the whole idea was to connect, because at that time, the entire revolution was changing towards digital. So we were trying to connect print with digital. So we had this app wherein the image, like today, what we do is we scan a QR code and we are redirected to a website or video is played or something, it takes you to a digital media. But we had created this AR, augmented reality, wherein the image itself becomes a QR code. Through our application, you can just scan that printed page. You'll able to go, see a video. You may able to see a 3D model if it is for a real estate company. So a lot of those kind of innovations also we did. So the whole idea why I'm discussing all this is, if from the beginning, Silverpoint started, we were always focused on adopting new technology, bringing new technology to our market, to our clients, and giving the best what is possible. So that was always our motto. And during 2000 and 2010, we saw there was a shift which was happening, wherein the run lengths of offset printing requirement were coming down. And what we saw, we also had a web unit. So those days we used to print almost 50 to 55 magazines, different magazines, month on month. So few were printed on our heat-set web machines, few were printed on a sheet-fed machine. But during that period, we saw that the run lengths are coming down. The whole industry is transforming. And when we started looking globally what is happening, we could see the writing on the wall. Okay, there is a drastic shift which is coming. Now this shift which was coming in was primarily because there were other medias like social media were coming into existence. They were more easy to reach out, and they were able to give a larger audience at a much lesser cost than a print. Like for example, magazine for that matter. Now today, if you see magazines, most of the content which is there, it is something which is 8 days. Because of in today's world of Twitter and Facebook and all, we get information like in every second. So it is becoming irrelevant. So we could see that that is coming in. So we closed down our web unit. That time we had a sheet-fed unit at low peril. We were operating out of 4 units. The 1 unit of the web unit we closed, and 3 units of our sheet-fed. We consolidated everything at New Bombay, Mahape. So we brought our entire operations in one single unit, our entire sheet-fed, all the machines, the bindery, finishing, everything under one roof. That actually helped us a lot to scale, helped us a lot to improve our efficiencies. Because doing that, we were able to be more efficient, because earlier when we were operating in 4 different units, the movement of material, coordination, the wastage was very high. But once we moved to Mahape, New Bombay, though it was a little away in terms of from the city center, but it brings us a lot of advantages in terms of efficiencies. And at that point of time, since we were looking at and studying the market, and we saw that the run lengths are coming down, so we started looking at what are the options available as a next growth potential. And we saw digital printing could be one of them. And at that point of time, if you, being all commercial printer, everybody we know, a lot of commercial printers slowly and gradually started migrating towards packaging. Because I think that was the logical extension, because your printing machines remains the same, you change your hardware in terms of your bindery, and you can enter into a packaging segment. And a lot of commercial printers have migrated and have shifted to packaging. I think in this, even now also. So, but we didn't find that as much appealing than to stay focused in commercial printing. So we started looking at digital printing. We studied a lot of machines, a lot of technology, inkjet, laser, HP Indigo, and we were trying to test and see what works for us. Sorry. At that point of time, what we started doing was we started accepting jobs which were of a short run quantity, and we tied up with few of our printer who had the digital setup. So we used to get printing done from them. We used to finish everything and deliver it to client. Now the whole idea of doing that, because for us to understand how efficient we'll able to get into this particular model, how efficient this model can be for us, and whether we'll be able to scale this model. So we did that for almost 2 to 3 years. It was a lot of logistics in terms of sending the files, getting the sheets printed, taking it back to your facility, binding it, sending it to the customer, but it was all worth it. And then one fine day, we took a decision that we'll invest into our first Indigo machine, and that was 3550. It was an entry-level machine. Means basically, at that point of time, also Indigo had much better models than that, but we were not very sure. We were not very confident whether we'll able to, being an offset mindset, able to run this digital machine, this digital business successfully. So we went for the basic model. We ran that machine for almost 5 years. In that 5 years, the journey we learned how we'll able to take the small quantity jobs, educate our customers, clients, build up new markets, basically new clients, enter into a lot of new segments where the digital was more relevant than converting jobs from offset to digital. Because like for example, an offset printer, even today, I think all the machine manufacturers, they must be having this challenge. You go to any offset printer and sit with him, okay, why don't you take a digital printer? The biggest question is ROI. And the fact is, if you sit with those numbers, what you have on offset machine, in terms of your plate cost, your printing cost, and the capital investment, what you have on offset machine, and the capital investment, what you have on a digital machine, the click charge, your overall running cost and everything, the ROI will never work. And that's why a lot of printers, even today, people, they ask me, okay, how can you, today since we have got 2 big size Indigo, how you manage it? So that we learn in our 5 years period when we had a smaller machine. That gave us a lot of learning, lot of understanding, okay, digital, to run a digital machine, to have a digital workflow, to have a digital capability as a printer, you need to have a different mindset. You can't have the offset mindset and run a digital machine. You need to look for a different avenues in terms of getting your jobs, different avenues in terms of the solutions what you provide to your customer. And that's the way we started learning and started implementing. So during those days, we started doing a kind of an hybrid model, where in that point of time, we went to our customers, gave them a lot of options in terms of not only short quantity printing, but doing personalization. Not the entire brochure, maybe the cover, maybe a few content page. So part of the job is printed offset, part of the job is digitally printed. So it was like a hybrid model. And that way, we were able to convert and do a lot of new work, which otherwise we would have not done it. And that gave us a good base to start with, to build it up. A lot of new customers we could identify. Like for example, a client need is variable printing. For example, coupons, which will have a lot of variable data in terms of the numbers, QR code, variable content, variable prize money and all that. Now these jobs, we had never done it because offset, it's not possible because the whole content was variable. So those kind of clients, we started working with them. And those kind of businesses also we started working because now the whole concept and the whole idea was to look at options and possibilities wherein you can go out, meet the prospect client who requires that kind of solution. And we could do it. We did it for almost 3 to 5 years with the smaller machine. And then we felt our growth will get stagnated with this format. Because primarily, our business as Silverpoint, we were more into catalogs, brochures, coffee table books, magazines. And for all this, you need to have a large format machines. So even in our offset, we got 3 large format machine, all Heidelberg, 2 5-color quoters, and 1 2-color machine. The advantage of a large format machine is you're able to print in 8 pages. It's faster turnaround time, and it's ideal for doing bookwork. be it it's a coffee books or magazine or catalog or anything. And that's what our USP was. And frankly speaking, when we talk about digital machine, what I feel, it's not about machine. We may have batteries of digital machine, but what we are selling as a printer, are we selling sheets? Are we a retail counter wherein somebody will come, ke mere ko 2 sheet chhap ke do, 3 sheet chhap ke do? With those kind of volume, can you put an Indigo machine? Can you do an ROI? Not possible. So what we sell product. We sell magazine. We sell coffee table books. We sell books, catalogs, calendars. So it's not about the machine. It's about the entire infrastructure. So the entire infrastructure, what we had with our offset, was to do a book work. Hence, we shifted from a smaller machine to a bigger B2 size machine, and we bought 12,000. That opened the whole business possibility, the entire, the gamut of offering to be very big. So now we were able to do the same jobs which we were doing in offset in terms of catalogs, brochures, coffee table books and all that, and give client solutions wherein if they don't need a high quantity, we can print a small run. If there is a urgency wherein there's a 5,000 coffee table books to be printed, but 5 copies required, 10 copies required urgently for 2 days, after 2 days there is a release. Now, offset not possible, but with digital possible. So we became, in terms of turnaround time, you bring the file and you will get it at your deadline. So the rest of the jobs will get printed by offset and will come to you maybe in a week's time, but for your urgent requirement, for your immediate need, for your immediate launch of the book or your brochure or your catalog is done on digital, bound, and everything, like if you keep the job printed on digital machine and job printed on offset machine, and you compare, difficult to make out a difference. Because we calibrated our offset machine with ISO 39, we calibrated our digital machines with ISO 39. So we ensured, in terms of color management, both the machines, whether it is digital or offset, they print identical. And that was the biggest achievement. And that helped us a lot in terms of building up the market, doing different kind of work, giving client a solutions wherein if they come with any problem, we are there to solve it. So we started saying if from 1 copy to 1,000,000 copy, no problem. But with digital, the biggest challenge, when you have a machine like 12,000, where it's like an elephant sitting on your shop floor, and it needs food, needs lot of jobs. Now, typically when we say jobs, how it starts, we get an inquiry, there is an estimator who will work out an estimate, you mail it back to the customer, he will negotiate, approve the job, file comes, then you make the job card, print, deliver. In a day, how many jobs possible like this? 30, 50? Is then number of team you require more. So if you want to grow, today I got 3 estimators, I want to grow 10x, do I need 30 estimators? Whether it is possible to manage, where it is feasible to do it, it's difficult. And that's where we looked at how we can scale. Scale in terms of getting more jobs, making the efficiencies, how I can bring the efficiency into my entire process of getting the job to the delivery. And we launched our printnation.in. It's a web to print B2B model. The biggest advantage over here was we went to our customers who has a lot of jobs which keeps coming like almost every day. So we set all the parameters with them, built a username password for them, so that as per their requirement, they have their jobs listed onto their page. As and when they require, they can go, select the quantity they want to print, upload the file, they get the estimate there and there, they approve that, and the job goes into print. So from conventional sending the estimate, taking approval and all that, we moved to the entire online model wherein the estimation, job submission, everything was automated. And that actually helped us a lot to scale. Like for example, last year, for example, during the peak season, we were doing almost 1,200 jobs per day. And these 1,200 jobs were PODs, one each. It was not that I was printing one catalog 50 quantity, another 100 quantity, one 500 quantity. No. Most of them, one each. And that's when we realized that we need to now scale, add more capacity, because with that one machine, you have challenges. And everybody who has digital machine will appreciate and will understand when you have one machine, digital machine on your floor, and you have to fulfill SLAs, you are playing with fire. You need to have a backup. Because we had a breakdown of a machine with one of our laser writer, and the machine was down for 3 days. And we tried to take help from 3-4 different printers, sending material to various locations. Unfortunately, we could not succeed. It was a major failure. We had to request to all our customers to bear with us with this. And then we decided to add one more machine, which we added in November, 100K. So now we have got two B2 size machine on our floor, one 12K and 100K, retaining all our offset capacity the way it is. So it's not that we are transition from offset to digital, no. Yes, offset, the growth has stagnated. But as a whole company, with offset and digital, it is growing. And this is help us to scale our operations, to grow further. Now, the second challenge is basically is to get now having two machines means double the amount of jobs, double the amount of jobs, double the amount of files, workflow and everything. So again, came back, searched what possibilities are there. How can we automate now beyond this? So now we are implementing another product which is AI enabled. The whole advantage with this workflow, which is site flow, so we'll have the clients upload, wherein we'll upload the files. Say for example, it is a 60-page book. The file will come into the system. Nobody has to check the file. Everything is done on the fly. It will get imposed. It will get batched based on the size and the GSM. So if it's an A4 size catalog, 64 page, 50 quantity, 130 GSM paper, get imposed, will get batched, and go into a folder which is 130 GSM, 1825 sheet. Same way, 2030, different sizes. So different jobs will get imposed. Once it is imposed, it is sheets which we need to print. So those, based on the size, based on the GSM, gets batched and gets into the queue. Once the batch reaches to the size, what has been predefined, it gets released for printing. Now, we have done a lot of integration, as I told you, on a Print Nation, and a lot of API integration we have done. With this API integration today, it's not that we are only printing for our local clients, but we are shipping to almost 80 countries, almost on a daily basis. Now, these clients are scattered or can be anywhere in the world. And whenever there is a requirement, they don't need to send anything. Our site, printnation.in, is in constant touch with their website. As and when somebody places order onto their site, it pulls the entire information. We print for them, pack for them, and using our logistics, we courier to them. So from them, for the client, it's only they have to manage their website. They need to manage their social media. Once the order is received, they don't have to bother. It will be taken care till it is delivered to the customer. So this was one part of PrintNation. The second part of PrintNation is basically, as I told you, during our own journey, when we were struggling to decide whether we should get into digital printing, we took help of few of our friends who helped us print for 2-3 years. Today, we are doing the same thing for our fellow friends, printers, for small designers. A lot of them have now joined us on PrintNation, wherein again, they all use the same platform. They submit all their jobs online, sorry, and it is seamlessly printed and delivered. So it helps to a lot of our friends, fellow printers, and it's not a competition. The market is very big. We don't feel, and frankly, we feel if they are comfortable, they can come to us. But the way we look at it, it's not that if he gets my facility and use it, I'm losing onto business. No. It is only helping us to expand the market. I may not be able to reach out to everyone. But doing this, the whole digital printing, short-run printing can expand. And it is helping us and helping everyone in the entire value chain. So now we have implemented AI-driven scheduling because on an average, during peak season, we are doing 1,200 to 1,500 jobs per day. During non-peak days, it is between 300 to 500 jobs per day. On an Indigo machine, sorry, we all know the challenge of getting cuts on the blanket and the paper. So we have to plan our production very well. And the production planning has to be done from the bigger size to the smaller size, so that you don't lose on consumables and you don't lose on your time of changing those blankets and pips, because there is a production loss. So that entire, in terms of GSM, sizes, and how the flow should be, is all AI-driven. Jobs flows in, get batch, are stored into the server, and one by one, based on the schedule of the size, primarily it is size, from big to small, it flows. And we do have maintenance issues, downtime and all, but luckily now we got 2 machines, so it is quite good. And in terms of being more sustainable, our efforts so that we can also be contributing to our environment, we do the entire plant audit in terms of our energy consumption. And not now, it's almost 8-10 years back when we did the first audit. We had changed the entire lighting on the shop floor, on the entire plant, to LED. Small things we did. Air conditioning, where it was maybe say 7-8 years old, or where there is a motor where maybe the bearing is not proper, consuming a little more power, making more noise. So the small thing, for almost 2 weeks, the consultant analyzed the whole thing, and slowly we changed those things. It brought down our consumption, energy consumption bill by almost 12%. So in 3 months, whatever we spent on consultation to get somebody to audit the plant was recovered, and then you have this saving for the life. We also changed all our ink in terms of offset to soya-based oil. So now, from last 10 years, all our inks, whatever we are using, they all are soya-based ink. All our coatings are water-based. All our found solution, everything is water-based. The IPA used on offset machine, we almost replaced it completely. So this was little bit from us to sustaining our ecosystem a little more efficiently. Now, transition of a offset printer to a digital. When you buy a high-end digital machine, first thing what you have challenge is, who is going to operate this machine? Do I have efficiency in terms of my team, my people on the shop floor who are going to handle this machine? Are they efficient? Do they understand English? Because all your pop-ups which comes, error message, everything on the screen are English. Whether they will be able to understand. And then, if I'm going to bring some new people to run this machine, what happens to my team? Who's been working with me last so many years? They feel insecure. They feel the company is transitioning from offset to digital, and we may become obsolete. So when we bought our first Indigo machine, 3550, we took a 2-color machine operator to train on that machine. Though HP had reservations, we took the full responsibility. We'll see if there is a problem, it is our call, and we are ready for whatever it happens. So we took 2 ballers from offset machine and a printer of a 2-color machine, got them trained, and they were running the 3550 machine. When we started running the machine from 1 shift to 2 shift, again, we didn't went out. We upgraded our own team, took them up, trained them up, and now today they are running 2 shifts with that. The same team was then upgraded to run 12,000. And when we bought the 100,000, again, we have not taken any new person from our team. Again, they are trained, and they are running the machine. Doing this, it builds a lot of confidence with our team. Okay, even if the company progresses to a different level, it's not going to keep us behind. They are going to take us together, and we'll also progress together. And all the operators who are running my 12,000 or 100,000 or running the RIP sessions or any of those platforms, none of them are educated in English. A lot of them are from Marathi medium, or they come from village where they are not even past 5th or 6th. But the dedication what they have is fantastic. It's beyond a computer engineer. If there is a problem in the machine, he is not going to go back. He is going to stay there, ensure that it is solved, and the machine is up and running. And that happens only because when you have this trust in your team, they will also reciprocate. So this is the culture, is what we are trying to develop, have on the shop floor, not only on the top management, but to the grassroots level. So we have instances wherein somebody who has joined a company as a sweeper, we saw that person having some spark, and he showed interest, and today he's running a machine. He's an operator. So at Silverpoint, I am the live example. I joined Silverpoint as a trainee, direct out of GIPT in 1993. I was a training supervisor on the shop floor. And from there, I am today the CEO of the company. So I am the live example of a culture of a company. It's not about one person or one owner or one manager or one. It is the whole culture of the organization, wherein everybody gets that opportunity to grow and excel. So Silverpoint is an institute. I call it like it means I'm the live example, and I've seen so many people from joining at a very basic level and then growing to the best possible way, whatever the efficiency he or she had. So it was that is how the whole culture of Silverpoint is. So we have now putting the smart workflow and automation in place. We are doing modular job handling and batching to improve the efficiency. We have got real-time dashboard, so my team sitting here, they can know exactly what is jobs are coming, how many jobs are coming, what it is happening, what is the issue with the job. Because knowing the job and knowing which are going very well in the production, if you don't know also, it's okay. But to know where the problem is very important, because those are the areas needs your attention. So those all gets highlighted very fast. We try and solve that as fast as we could, and then helps us to retain the client and service them in a better way. What next? As a company, a journey from a very small offset printer, somewhere in low peril industrial state, to today, Silverpoint. At every stage of our journey, never compromised in terms of quality and service. That was the very, very important. Those were the foundations of our company. And now also, with the digital and moving ahead in terms of expanding into digital, we are trying to keep that as our motto: high quality and fastest possible turnaround time, best possible service to our customer. And trying to build up a lot of AI-controlled workflows and all. In future, we want to add modules wherein today the biggest pain point is sending the estimate quote to your customer. It takes a lot of time. And if you have more inquiries, chances are very high you lose on good number of jobs. Because if you took 1 or 2 days to only revert back with an estimate to a customer, how you'll able to get the job? So that is the biggest challenge. So we are trying to see how we can address to that. My wish list, like an estimator module should be wherein somebody can get in, log into my system, and should say, I want to print a book, A4 size, cover plus 32 page. And being not a print person, my customer may say, I want a hard case book. The system should be efficient enough to say, sir, 32 page, don't do hard case, may not look very good, better do center painting. Gives an estimate of, say, for example, 3 lakh. Client says, no, I have a budget of 2 lakh. The system should be smart enough to say, sir, frankly, I think you have used a textured imported paper for the cover and inside. Let me work out a cost wherein the cover will be textured paper, but inside, why don't we use art paper? The binding is hard cover. Looking at your budget, why don't we use soft cover? And it will fit your budget. Now this is happening. It's not that it's not happening. Everywhere it is happening, but it is taking time. Because the customer will read back to you, get the estimate of 3 lakh, he'll call your name, my budget is 2 lakh. Your salesperson will say, Arey sir, 3 lakh ka job 2 lakh mein kaise karu? Let's discuss. Then he'll say this, that loss of time. I think if we want to excel, we want to go to the next level. I think this is the problem area which we need to resolve, solve. And because today the technology is available, today because AI is there, I'm talking to some of the developers over here, if they can help me, something like this, it will really help to excel. We are trying to benchmark ourselves against global players. In one of the presentation, he showed about Canva and showed about an Australian printer when he tied up with the Canva and his volume became double. We are also Canva partners for India. But what he showed for that market, yes, it is happening. I have seen it. It is not happen here. It will happen for sure. So having a virtual network like a web to print is very important. It will help us to connect, to get on board customers who are savvy in terms of technology, get them on, and I think it will help us to build the future ready print business. Thank you.
Thank you, Saifee. That was an excellent presentation.